I'm Ronald Jr. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about, is it worth upgrading a budget guitar, a cheap guitar? I don't like to say a cheap guitar. I like to say affordable, because cheap guitars are not really cheap anymore. They're not made cheaply. They're actually coming a long way. So I like to say affordable guitars. But the number one comment that I get on my YouTube channel, which I don't understand this because I've stressed this 1,000 times in every video that I do, this is about building cheap guitars, reviewing cheap guitars, fixing up cheap guitars, and making cheap guitars awesome, okay? And I get 1,000 comments a day. Why are you taking a $200 guitar and putting $400 in it? Why are you taking a $200 guitar and putting $600 in it? Why don't you just go buy an Epiphone for $600? Why don't you just go buy a Mexican Stratocaster for $1,000 and all this stuff? So today we're gonna be clearing up the air a little bit. We're gonna be going deep into this, and yes, there's gonna be different opinions, and I respect each and every one of your opinions, but I think we need to have an open mind here. We need to respect each other and have an open mind. This is a Firefly guitar that I have totally redone. I mean, from clear down to sanding down the finish and putting nitro on it, all the way down to reshaping the headstock. I mean, it's been legit redone. And this guitar sounds amazing. And don't get me wrong, it sounds great out of the box. But I want to play this guitar live. I want to use this guitar, and I want to use this guitar, as a tool. And if I ding it, if I bang it off something, if it gets a scratch or it gets player's wear, or it's okay, because it was a $170 guitar. Yeah, granted, I have a lot of money in this guitar, but that doesn't affect anything. So I built this guitar to play and to use. I didn't buy it to resell it. That's another comment that I get about the Firefly guitars. I expose the eBay scams, and they're like, that's just good business. But would you buy a Chevy Cavalier for $25,000? No, you wouldn't, because that's a ripoff. So regardless of the price, when I buy a guitar, I don't have a resale value in mind. I have, okay, I can use this as a tool. I need it, and I can upgrade it and make it sound better, and this is a great platform to start from. So if you want to fix up a cheap guitar, do it. It's awesome. Okay, it's fun. It's fun to learn. It's fun to experiment things. It's fun to learn to work on your guitar. And when you're done, there's something about it that in your mind you've accomplished something. And that's cool. That's why the budget guitar scene has really taken off, because it's cool to do stuff like that. So I always get like, why don't you just go buy a $600 Epiphone? So if I buy a $600 Epiphone, I'm not going to like the pickups that are in it. The new ones that are coming out in 2020, it's going to be a different story. They're reamping some stuff. But let's just say I buy an Epiphone right now. I'm not going to like the pickups in it. I'm not going to like the bridge on it. And the tuners, honestly, they might have Grover tuners, but it's not Grover tuners. And a lot of people know what I'm talking about. They might say Grover, but they're not Grover tuners. They're just, it's hard to explain. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for that. But so I'm going to have to change out this stuff. And I'm going to change out the wiring, because I have a certain way that I like my wiring. So regardless of what I do to this Epiphone guitar, I'm still losing money if I resell it. Doesn't matter what I put on it. Doesn't matter if I put the best tuners that you can buy on the market, the best bridge you can buy on the market, and the best pickups that you can buy on the market. When I go to resell this Epiphone Les Paul that I paid $600 for, I'll probably get $400 out of it on reverb, because that's not how the guitar business works. When you buy an Epiphone guitar, a Les Paul style guitar, and you paid $600 for it, that is what the guitar is worth. Doesn't matter what you put in it. You're not going to get any. It doesn't matter. It's still, it's like almost like a car. It decreases when it's used. So you're going to get used price for that Epiphone guitar. It doesn't matter what you've put in it. You still that's all you're going to get is a used price for the Epiphone guitar, because it's still that Epiphone guitar. Nothing's changed about it, just the hardware around it. Same way, everybody's like, buy a $1,000 Stratocaster, and you can get $1,000 Stratocasters all day long. I've played them. They're great guitars. There's some things that I'd change on them. I would change the wiring and the pickups in it. That's my personal preference. Okay? And I would probably do a little modifications here and there with it. I'm still putting money in the guitar. And it decreases in value because now it's used, and it doesn't matter what kind of pickups and wiring that I put in that $1,000 guitar, that Stratocaster guitar, I'm still only going to get a used price for that guitar. Okay? So I spend $1,000 on this guitar, and I'm already upgrading the wiring and the pickups because I need a certain sound for what I'm going to do. So I'm already like $1,400 deep in a Stratocaster guitar. Same way, with an Epiphone 335. You're looking at, I can get a pretty nice 335 from Epiphone for about $500. And I got to change out the wiring. I got to change out the pickups. I got to change out the tuners, the better tuners. I got to do all this stuff. And I'm in the hole, about $700, $800. But instead, you don't have to go to the extreme like I did, but you can buy a Firefly or a Grote or a Harley Benton and start from there and save money, and you have a guitar that plays just as good or better in some cases, and you can beat it around. You know that you have a guitar that plays really well, it sounds really good, and you like that body shape, and you're not afraid to take it to wherever you play. Do you play at a bar because it's messy there, or do you play at a church? Maybe some kids might run by it, scratch it, maybe ding it up a little bit, or wherever it may be. You're not afraid to use it. Okay, so if I go buy a $5,000 Gibson, they're pretty awesome right out of the box, right? Because it's, you get what you're going to pay for. You're paying $5,000 for a guitar, so it better be perfect, right? That's just my opinion. It better be dang near perfect. And you're going to hover over that thing. You're going to be afraid to play it. You're going to be afraid to do all this stuff. And then the whole time that you have this $5,000 Gibson, you're going to have resale value in mind. So when I buy a budget guitar, I do not have resale value in mind. I have what can I do with it, and how can I upgrade it, how can I use it as a tool? How can it help me become a better guitar player? And we can get into these expensive guitars have better woods and all this stuff. But we need to quit being so narrow-minded and focusing on the woods. And it does have a small percentage, I believe, in the tone. But let me tell you something. Budget guitars have come a long way, and they're starting to use some pretty nice woods, okay? I mean, you're not going to get no high-end Stratocaster, Gibson woods, but woods and looks isn't everything. For me, it's, for one, how it plays and how it feels on the neck. It's got to feel good there. If not, the guitar is going in the trash. And if it has some fret spread, it needs a little fret work, we can address that. We can fix that kind of stuff. And the sound, if it sounds muddy, cheap, we can always change that out, okay? So when it comes to stuff like that, I'm not worried about it. But how does it feel in my hands? How does it feel playing? Does it feel natural, or is it cramping up my hand, or is it hard to play? Am I fighting with it? That's the thing. And honestly, I've closed my eyes and have people hand me guitars before, and I'm like, dude, this guitar, it's got to be cheap. It's got to be junk. And you open your eyes, and it's not. It's a higher end guitar. And then you close your eyes, and they hand you something else, and you're like, oh, this plays pretty good. And it's a higher end guitar. And you close your eyes and play something else. You're like, wow, this actually plays pretty good. I like it. I'm comfortable, and it's a budget guitar. So when you're fixing up budget guitars, don't let people hate on you because I fixed up I don't know how many budget guitars, and they play like high-end guitars, and people love them. They sound good, and a 3-piece body, a 1-piece body, it doesn't matter. A guitar is a tool. I know a lot of people say that you'll have problems later with the Fireflies and the Grote guitars, which is a lie, because I've had this guitar for I think almost a year, and it stays in tune and the neck does not shift. I've only adjusted this neck one time, and that's it. I've never adjusted the neck any other time. And so with the CITES regulations or whatever it was they was doing or whatever with the rosewood, that is gone. Now you can get budget guitars now with rosewood again. So it makes when you get like rosewood on a guitar, it makes that guitar look a little bit more expensive. It makes it look a lot better, right? So because this has the engineered rosewood, and it looks okay, but when it has real rosewood on it, it looks a lot better. So is it worth upgrading a budget guitar? Affordable guitar? Absolutely. If you can afford to get a higher end Stratocaster or maybe a mid-range Les Paul, absolutely do that. Get that. Play that live. Don't be afraid to use it. But also stay humble and don't be afraid to get a budget guitar like this and build it up for you and stuff like that. And better yet, the guitar fetish builds. You get their high-end stuff. That's the route I would go if you're trying to customize a guitar, because you can legit put any kind of tuners you want on those things because the holes aren't drilled. You can do everything when it comes to putting stuff on it. You can pick what you want on the guitar. Like if you get a Squier guitar and you want to change the tremolo out, for one, the block's going to be too. If you get a thicker block, it's going to stick out of the back, and the holes might not line up, and all that stuff. So you have to plug the holes or get a conversion kit, and you have to pay a little bit more for that and all that stuff. So if you're wanting to build a custom Stratocaster and you want to have your preferred tremolo and all that stuff on there, get on Guitar Fetish. They're pretty consistent with what they have. And if you have any problems with it, they're pretty easy to deal with. So is it worth upgrading a budget Stratocaster or a budget 335 or a budget anything? Absolutely. Don't be afraid to upgrade this stuff. But don't think just because you put Seymour Duncans in a $200 Firefly Les Paul, don't think that you're going to get $300 to $400 out of this thing. Okay, it's just not how it works. The Firefly is only going to be worth, honestly, a used Firefly Les Paul is only going to be worth about $100. And people don't want to hear that, but it's true that a used Firefly guitar goes for $100 used. And what I mean by used is opened and touched and played, and that's used. And the eBay world, they think they're going to buy them and sell them for $400 to $500, which is ridiculous. Nobody wants to buy them unless you really want to. Firefly is not worth $500, $400 because of how it's made and where it's made. Not saying anything bad about it, but it's just not worth that, right? So we have to understand that they're doing this as a scam because Firefly sells out. Listen, I got a Firefly Les Paul Sunburst or Cherry Burst. I'm going to be doing on this channel a review of it. And I was on the website, and every time you'd refresh, one of the guitars around what I was trying to order was sold out. So within 2 days, that site was empty. Now, a lot of these people are buying these in bulk and they're selling them online and keeping this business out of stock, and it's driving you to go to these other sites and buy them. Now, I have seen some Firefly guitars that was kind of reasonable, but I'm still not paying that much money for it. Like I saw a Double Cut Junior on there the other day, brand new, still in the box. They opened it to show you the color and all that stuff, right? $250. Okay, that's pretty reasonable, but I'm still not going to buy it for $250 because I can get it brand new for $170 or $130 or $140. and then used you can get them for $100. Like there's a Firefly Stratocaster on Reverb right now for $200 and some. I tried to offer the guy what it was worth and maybe just a little more, because you have to pay for shipping too, and denied. They want what they want out of it, but they're not going to get it, because honestly that guitar is only worth $100 to $120. Doesn't matter how good it looks, it doesn't matter what you've done to it, doesn't matter what kind of hardware, what kind of wirings in it, what kind of fret work you've done to it, how good you did this and how good you did that. At the end of the day, it's still a Firefly, it's still a Squier, it's still a Bullet, it's still a Epiphone, it's still a Gibson Studio, it's still a Epiphone 335 dot. It's still that. It doesn't change anything, right? It doesn't change what it is just because you put better parts in it. Just because a woman puts on makeup and jewelry and fixes her hair up doesn't change who she is. Okay, it just makes it look better. It doesn't change who she is. And that's the same way with all these parts. It doesn't change what the guitar is. Deep down, this is still a Firefly guitar. Even though that it has the open book headstock now and it's more desirable and all this stuff, it's still a Firefly guitar. Do I want to sell this? Absolutely not. Do I play this? Yes, I play this. This is my guitar. And that was the whole point of me doing everything. Because I think I put $500 to $600 in this guitar, and people lost it on the internet. They lost it and couldn't believe it. Like, they have so many comments on there like, you should have did this, you should have did that. But that's not what this channel is about. I can get out my expensive guitars and review them for you and do all these things, but it's not why I started this channel. I started this channel to do stuff like this. So that was my opinions on, should you upgrade a budget guitar? Is it worth upgrading a budget guitar? Absolutely. Be free. Be who you want to be, and don't let people judge you. And if you know what you're doing, you can make a pretty nice guitar out of a budget guitar. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. There's builds, there's reviews, there's giveaways coming. Not only guitar giveaways, I'm going to be doing some other giveaways also. So just enjoy life, do what you want, and don't let people put you down. That's all I got to say. So I'm Ronald Jr., and I'll see you guys next time.